The dreaded box space. Ah! Come on, they're not so scary. Here are 5 different ways that you can hit a box space. Hopefully it gives you some ideas. Welcome back, friends, to the Clash Tips YouTube channel, the dreaded box space. Ever since they came on the scene about a year ago, summer of 2021, they have wreaked havoc as they are difficult to 3-star. Well, let me restate that. It can be difficult to 3-star for me, but for these OP attackers, they make it look easy. We are starting off these OP box beating strategies with a queen charged Dragon Riders, putting that queen down, funneling in the king into that scattershot compartment, funneling down at the bottom with a sneaky goblin and a wizard so that the queen can take advantage of that walkway just north of that archer tower. Super important and actually genius that that king be funneled into that scattershot compartment, because if that scattershot was not taken down, then it could target the healers of the queen or even the queen herself. And while the queen is busy taking down the enemy heroes, which is super important in a Dragon Rider attack, because Dragon Riders do not target heroes. And so while they're sitting there being OP Drag Riders, they're being shot down by the queen and the RC. And so you want to make sure with your queen charged Dragon Riders that you do take down the queen and the RC of the enemy, so that way they do not do lots of damage onto your Dragon Riders. If you are instead doing a Hydra or Skybrid, as it's also called, attack, then your dragons can actually take down enemy heroes. But with this one, the power is in bunching the Dragon Riders together. It's almost as if I would think of it as a Super Bowler attack or even a P.E.K.K.A. Smash attack, where you're funneling out a certain portion of the base, and then you want your Super Bowlers or your P.E.K.K.A.s to go down a straight line, and that's what Stevo actually does with these Dragon Riders. Funnels out that portion with the queen and the queen charge, and then sends in the Dragon Riders so that way they follow a predetermined line, all grouped together as a bunch. The only defenses that are really going to do damage against those Dragon Riders when they are grouped up are going to be splash damage, so that scattershot, for example, or even that wizard tower. You want to kind of think of them like you're using bats or a bat spell, and anytime you have splash damage and you have a big group of Dragon Riders, just as you see here, you want to make sure that you freeze or that you try to deter any splash damage, because again, the power is in the grouped function, as they're able to take defenses down very quickly one by one. So they typically only have 1 or maybe 2 defenses that are targeting the pack at any one time, and they're able to move from defense to defense to defense. And that's why Queen Charge Dragon Riders is such a powerful attack, and how you can use it against the box space if you so choose, and if the base is set up for that. This next attack done by none other than FSG Fatal in the Good Guys. You don't often see a Hydra attack that works on a box base. This one did, and so I wanted to show it because I was a little surprised that it did, but the funneling, I think, is what really did it. Also, as you can see, there's kind of a dead space right there in the middle of the base with that lone multi-inferno tower, and typically around an inferno tower like that, you're going to see a lot of traps. You can see lots of black mines, red bombs, all of that. And so if you can get your dragons and your Dragon Riders and your loons to path that direction, and then get your blimp that's going to be going to the town hall to soar right over that, then you can take down a lot of the mines with one shot, especially when everything is underneath that OP Warden's Tome. It is so funny, I say that, and then as soon as the blimp goes soaring over that multi-inferno tower, I see one single red mine that hits it. So not always the case. Another reason why this attack was so powerful was because there were a lot of defenses that were surrounding the town hall, so he was able to use clone spells to his advantage. A lot of times you won't see a lot of defenses that are around the town hall, and so you can't take advantage of that clone spell ability. But if you do see lots of stuff around the town hall, consider this attack. This is something that may work, especially if your clones can take out some very high value, high damage, high HP targets. But again, with this, the key is going to be the funneling in the building. You can't line up your dragons or your Hydra all the way across the back and expect them to 3-star. You have to give them some semblance of a path to go down. And of course, Fatal does that with his heroes in this attack. Another reason why you don't see Hydra used a lot on box bases is because one of the characteristics of box bases is that they're tightly clustered together, which means you have a lot of high HP, a lot of damage that are coming in on your big group of dragons and dragon riders all at the same time. On this one in particular, all the defenses were pretty spread out. So if you see something that's set up like this, maybe consider Hydra as an attack style. This next attack on a box base is done by Hammer in the Crystal to Join clan, and it is Carl's favorite attack, and that is E-Drags. How dare you, sir? Yes, I did. E-Drags, as they are, even with the recent speed buff, are super slow, and so Hammer starts out by taking out that hair dryer that's right next to the town hall. That way, his E-Drag can travel unimpeded right through the center of the base, and in a box base, typically you have a lot of defenses that are kind of clustered together, and so good call on Hammer's part, looking at this base and seeing that E-Drags would be something that could actually work. He funnels in the bottom side, funnels in the top side, and then brings his E-Drags right in on the side. I see that a lot. Whenever players are using E-Drags to take on box bases, you will oftentimes see them brought on what you think of as the side of the base and not the back end of the base. The reason being is because a lot of base builders will stack up air-seeking mines, lots of air-targeting defenses, lots of air-destroying stuff right there on that front side around the eagle. Actually, it's the back side. And so by bringing it in from the side, you're able to avoid that initial wave of seeking air mines, red air bombs, and all of that. One notorious character trait of E-Drags is that they are horribly slow, and because of that, they also tend to die out really quickly. So you will sometimes see E-Drags paired with bats, and so the bats will sweep the back end. That could have worked in this instance if the RC could take that middle Inferno. We still have one E-Drag that's alive up top, OP E-Drag right there, but looking at each base and trying to determine exactly what will work for you and for your attack is absolutely necessary. Of course, base ID is a core tenet of Clash of Clans, and using what works best in your style of play is what's most important. Using that style of play in Legends League, getting practice attacks, and you too can do that with E-Drags. E-Drags is something that can work well on box bases if you do it exactly right, just as OP Hammer does. This next attack done by the man OP Hero Killer himself, and it's what he's good at, it's what he does almost every attack, and that is Blizz Dragons. He sees an area of the base, again, he's super brave, sending in a Blizzard Blimp right here. I would have definitely been afraid of lots of giant bombs being right there, maybe the tornado trap, but as we all know, Hero has balls of steel, and he is willing to send his Blizzard in anywhere where he thinks that he can get great value. Another beautiful piece of this Blizzard is it actually starts the funnel. He puts in that E-Drag down at the bottom in order to finish the funnel, and then he's going to put in his heroes up top to start that side of the funnel. And then he's going to send his dragons right up the middle. I like how he uses dragons. Dragons as a specific troop actually have better value as far as their HP and their DPS goes. The difference is, of course, that they don't target defenses, but if you're going through the center of a box base like this, you don't necessarily need them to target defenses, especially when they're raged, and especially if you can keep them all in a pack because they can burn through everything. There are no big storages, that you don't see the DE storage right there in the middle that would take them time to get through. And because that Blizzard and the E-Drag at the bottom did such a great job funneling, and because his heroes did such a great job up top funneling, his queen is actually able to take out that Inferno Tower and eventually get to the Eagle, but his dragons are staying together as a pack. And as I pointed out with the Dragon Rider attack, if you can keep things together in a pack, then they won't be picked off one by one, and they're way more powerful if you can actually keep them together. Blizzard, of course, OP strategy. If you've not learned how to do the Blizzard, then I highly encourage you to use it. I put out a Blizzard video of how to take down the Town Hall with a Blizzard. This is a perfect example of a Blizzard. This is an OP attack, beautiful 3-star hero. Honestly, you could not have a box-based video without showcasing the Super Bowler attack, which are famous for being able to take down the box base. Battle Dad, of course, doing this attack and does a marvelous job. I love how he tests for Teslas and traps right in this corner. If you notice, he puts down regular wall breakers, and this absolute genius move. I remember the first time that I saw him do that. It's absolutely brilliant. It's just a super cheap way to test 2 troop space versus the 5 troop space giant or 5 troop space hog rider. But he found a place where he could bring in his flame flinger. He's funneling at the bottom with his flame flinger. He's funneling at the top with his Grand Warden. And just to mention, super bowlers are getting harder and harder to use. A lot of players and a lot of base builders are realizing that the flame flinger, when used strategically, is absolutely OP, and you're going to get your base tripled because you're able to funnel so effectively. But if you find a base that you can use the flame flinger is the most OP siege machine by far. If you can take down 5 or 6 defenses, and then you can typically have hogs or maybe the Yeti, Valkyrie, Barb combination, you can take out so much with a flame flinger. You are going to have to use it creatively on some bases, and I'm going to do a future video that actually showcases that. But once that top and that bottom are funneled effectively, those super bowls go straight up the middle, puts the jump down in the perfect spot, puts down the rage in the perfect spot. Put out a video on super bowlers a few weeks ago that showcases how to do this exactly. But at this point, the only thing he really has to worry about is that single target inferno at the bottom, which is actually put there to prevent this exact type of attack. He gets a little lucky in that his flame flinger targets it, and also he had that loon, which is under tome, and thankfully it works out pretty well. As I said earlier, a lot of players are starting to put their X-bows and their mortars closer to the outside of the base. They're not putting them tucked in, which is leaving bases like this open to other style of attacks other than just super bowlers. I think that you're slowly going to see super bowlers kind of trickle out of the meta because of that. And alternatively, you could use maybe a log launcher or a siege machine if you can funnel effectively, just like we saw in the very first video with the Dragon Riders. You can do something similar if the pathing allows it with your super bowlers. But super bowlers, definitely traditional in trying to take down box bases, and Battle Dad does an amazing job. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. That helps show it to other potential viewers. Also, if you're not a subscriber, smash that subscribe button. We've had a lot of people join recently. And let me know what you think of box bases in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching.